screen.
Exactly right.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I'm in No Bogeys Golf in Southern California with my old friend Monte Scheinblum. Hey Monte, how's it going?
How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you. So Monte, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things. We'll probably end up producing three or so videos from today, but this is the main one that I wanted to do. I think it's going to be really interesting for some people. Monte, he's got a great Instagram page, which is just your name, right?
Yeah, at Monte Scheinblum, yeah.
Right. So follow him on Instagram, and on Instagram, Monte is a self-admitted, like a jokester sometimes, you know, like a jester style mentality sometimes. So I saw him talking about like doing this thing called broomforce. And Monte puts out videos every once in a while, and he says, "I've got broomforce coming out," and I thought, is he goofing or is this an actual thing? And then he started showing some of the drills from it, and they're really powerful. So I got a broom here, Monte, that we'll show later, but what, like in general, why is a broom so good to use?
The bottom of the golf swing, from around P6 to P8, where if you know the lingo, shaft parallel to shaft parallel, the body movements are not unlike the sweeping of a broom, where when people screw up their golf swings, it gets very vertical and choppy.
The bottom looks more like a V.
More like a V, absolutely. And so, what we want is a shallow angle of attack, and then the club remaining low for a long time. We don't want that. Sorry, I almost hit you there. So one day I was giving a lesson about 18 months ago, and the guy just wouldn't get it. So I said, look, the ball's right here, all right? And
so if you're such a good demonstrator of bad golf swings,
yes.
Show me what he was doing.
Okay, so what he was doing is he was taking this big, long arm swing and folding his arms up, and then he was like spinning his body out, and he was literally getting to this position right here, and he couldn't hit the ball anywhere.
Right.
People have used the broom analogy before, but I kind of put new spins on it, throughout the video that I made. And I said, look, if you had a broom in your hand and there was dirt, a big pile of dirt right there, and you wanted to sweep it as far as you could, take a backswing and then show me what you would do with the broom if you were holding it up here. And he kind of went and made a really, really good golf swing. And I said, okay, there's something here. So I started developing the idea and seeing what resonated with different golfers. And after kind of teaching it's just a feel, it's just a perception of how to swing the club better, I started developing all these drills that would get people to understand how to come into the ball like this. Now, here's the important part about this. This is what the whole video is designed around. We all know the lower body leads the golf swing. There's no debate, okay? Where there is debate is when people actively lead with the lower body and leave the arms and hands behind. And that runs us into two different problems. Problem number one is people will get to the top, leave the arms back here, fire the body, and they get in this position. They run out of range of motion, and then they go like this, and like, ooh, I'm way too armsy and handsy, and I need to use my body more. And as you can see, that would be a total disaster.
Yeah.
And then there's that's more like low and mid handicappers. High handicappers will get up there and not move their arms at all and just spin their shoulders and they're straight over the top. And everyone says, ooh, look at how armsy you are. Look at how your arms and hands are coming out.
Yeah.
So both of those turn into, let's use our lower bodies more, and then that just makes the problem worse. And there are some things that the golfing public is not at large doesn't understand. The lower body only leads the arms by 2/100ths of a second. That's not very long.
Okay.
And that's in an elite swing. And if you're actively trying to lead, you're going to end up with a greater gap.
Okay.
And it's been shown, thousands and hundreds of thousands of golfers, that proper sequencing of the entire body is what produces a proper strike and better club head speed, not firing the hips as hard as you can.
Right.
So that's where this kind of comes in, is The whole video is about sequencing your arms to your body
Okay.
so you can achieve maximum speed at the bottom.
If we just take some balls and some tees and stuff here,
Yes.
all kinds of stuff. And so forget about golf for a second.
Yes.
All I'm going to do is what, Monty? What's my task now? So,
Okay,
I got stuff here. I got stuff there.
Grab it. It's hard to grab the broom because it's a little bit too long with a regular grip, so you kind of have to do it split-handed.
Split grip, yep.
Okay, so set up to those balls, all that stuff. Okay, now make a backswing like you would.
Okay.
Now, if you were going to sweep this stuff, would you leave your arms and hands right there and just fire and rotate your hips?
Let me see. Let me just say. No.
Okay.
It would feel very together,
Right.
I think.
Okay. And would you bring the broom directly to the ball, or would you bring it back here?
Let's see what happens in a slow-mo when I'm just going to attempt to. So the goal here is to get all this stuff up against the TrackMan
Right.
screen.
Exactly right.
About like that, I
You
think.
put the broom
Yeah.
into the ground about this far behind all of the stuff. That's the whole point. Because the biggest mistake that people make is they swing the club to the ball
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
And we know that elite golfers, the center of mass of the club head, however you want to look at it, works up, away from the ball and away from the target.
Yeah.
Not directly to the
Okay,
ball.
okay.
So look at how steep I'm going to be, and this is the bane of most golfers' existence.
Right.
Steep. Whereas if you're up here and you're going to sweep all that stuff, you're not going to go like that. You're going to go like this and like that. And as you can see, I got a perfect pivot
Yeah.
from here to here when I do that.
One thing that I can see in trying to sweep all that stuff is right here.
Yeah.
See how much lower I'm getting? It's like I know that I want to get all this stuff that way.
Exactly
So I'm
right.
lowering.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's how you get into the ground. And then the only way to sweep the stuff is to push up and rotate. That's how you get your body open, and that's how you use vertical force to create more club head speed.
Okay, so we got to talk about, because I know it's something that you have a really interesting take on. Because when I do this, I do get kind of open. I'm
Yes.
not like dramatically more hips open than, but for sure, like when I got to the last ball in the row,
Yep.
I'm about like that.
Correct.
Which would be like really sexy if I
Right.
could do that in a golf swing.
Right. And most people don't. Most people hit at the ball and they're like this.
The right arm is extending like this.
Right.
Okay.
Now, if you put the broom in the ground right there, the only way that you can get to the ball is to open up and push.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And why would swinging a golf club be any different?
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, good question. Why would swinging a golf club be any different? I mean, I would think. All right, so let's just talk about the things that are different between the broom and the golf club.
Okay.
We're gonna do a video about this later, so we'll get deeper into this later. But split hand grip,
Yes.
is going on, and
Yes.
that's important.
Yes.
We'll talk about it later.
But that's another drill that's been used for a long time.
Yeah.
Everybody's been trying to hold angles for so long, and it's been proven that holding angles is no good. With the split grip, that allows you to release the trail wrist correctly.
Okay.
So that's actually a side benefit.
They always say like you should let the loft of the club work.
Correct.
But it's really mentally a block to let that happen. So you, in your mind, when you're trying not to sweep something along the ground and have it roll, because I know for sure it's not getting up in the air with this.
Right, because you're not going to get here and go
Yeah,
and scoop.
my best force is going to be like that.
Correct. You're not going to scoop
Right.
the broom.
But the effort of trying to hit something up in the air, you do want to kind of like uncouple a little bit and kind of have some like flick to the air.
And that's about everything in the video talks about the visual of getting the club to the ground there versus there.
Okay.
Okay? That's how you get the longer flat spot versus the,
Oh, okay.
look, everything in golf is two discussions. What are you actually supposed to do? Well,
Feeling real kind of stuff?
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a discussion. At impact, you want to have your hands slightly ahead of the ball. You want to have your hips a little bit open, a little bit of right bend, not locked out, all that stuff. We all know that stuff. Then discussion number 2 is where we all live. What crazy feel, idea, strange, whatever can I do that will produce those movements? Because currently my field does not produce that. You get a lot of people saying, well, feels change, so we have to work on what actually happens.
Right.
And then you got other people say, well, working on what actually happens, that's a contrived, unathletic motion. Both of those statements are correct. That's why you have to combine the two.
I see.
Whenever you're working on what feels to do, it's under the guise of you have to understand exactly what you're trying to accomplish. So the feel that you're working on actually produces what it's supposed to.
So you're talking about, let me jump in there for a second, Monte. Switch spots with you. So the main goal of Broom Force and of a lot of your teaching is not so much to get to a spot like there. It's is it like, because I hear you kind of hinting at this, to get there's a certain delivery position you got to
exactly
get into.
Right.
So what is that kind of? It's almost like okay, if I can get to this, then an actual golf swing can happen. But
exactly
if I can't
right.
get there, so what do you mean by that?
The entire downswing is a reaction. You can't force shaft lean, you can't force lag, you can't force open hips, because you'll hit the ball worse if other parts don't match up with it. Okay? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to put ourselves in a position somewhere back here.
Yeah.
Where the only choice your body has to hit the ball is to rotate and get the hands forward. So if you're getting up there and you're going like this, the only chance you have to hit the ball is to stall and go like that.
And if you go like this and you still think like, well, I do want shaft lean, then it'll just shank it.
It's going to be a shank. Or miss it completely.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go up to the top and shift and get your arms linked up to your body correctly, somewhere back here, if I'm right here, the only way I can get to that golf ball is to rotate, push up, and get my hands forward.
Okay, cool.
So that's the goal. We're trying to get your body to react. Your body's always going to react to the golf ball.
Yeah.
So that's why casting, flipping, stalling, whatever, you can't fix those things directly because
those are all reactions from usually a poor transition or
something. Poor setup, poor transition, poor backswing.
Something early.
Something. Yeah. Whereas, so all things being equal, if all you did was fix those faults, you'd hit the ball worse because those faults are trying to get the club to the ball. An unrelated example just to prove the point.
Yeah.
If you get up here and you massively cup your left wrist and then you bring the club out here, if I rotated really well and leaned the shaft, I would hit the ball 50 yards right. So from here, all I can do is stall out and go like this. That ball's going to go straight. It's not going to look good, but it'll go straight. But if I go like this and I try and make a good swing, that's what I'm going to end up with. Right. So that's what Broom Force is about. It's about understanding how to get the club moving that way versus this way. But more importantly, we've been so this is more what it's about. We've been so inundated for 100 years with fire the body, fire the body. The arms are along for the ride. And quite literally almost 100% of golfers over the handicap of 1 or 2 either go like this or go like that. And rather than like this. And as dumb as it sounds, both of those involved starting the arms sooner. So everybody is listening to this and go, all right, this guy's an idiot. He has no idea.
The fix for both of those problems involves starting
the arms sooner. Okay? Everybody listening now is going, well, this guy's an idiot. Everybody knows you're not supposed to start the arms sooner because, that involves manipulation at the bottom or over the top or whatever. And I understand, but it's been measured. There's an objective measurement. Pros and higher club head speed guys accelerate their arms and hands earlier than higher handicappers and shorter hitters. It's across the board objective, can't be argued with. And what that looks like is, So like this right here, the arms stay here, the body moves, we're stuck. This is all we got left. Now watch, this looks like an armsy over the top move.
Yeah.
But the arms and hands have not changed position in relation
from
to
where
my
your
chest.
sternum is.
They're the same place.
Yeah.
So in both of those cases, if your first move down is this way, which is what you were, if you're going to sweep from here, you wouldn't go like this or like that. Yeah. You'd go like this.
Yeah. But it doesn't look like you're necessarily like keeping your back to the target and doing this. Like I see stuff. I see stuff happening as you're doing that. Yeah.
The back to the target, all that is a feel that Nicholas uses, that Justin Rose uses, that tons of great players use in order to delay the chest for a few thousandths of a second so the arms link up.
Okay.
And my colleagues at AMG have seen this over thousands of golfers. I've seen it on several hundred. Neither one of us have ever seen any golfer, even when we offered them free lessons for life, to start the downswing with their arms. Nobody's been able to do it. So that's a myth.
The chain will always go bottom up.
The lower body always leads no matter what. What's happening, what people see, is poor sequencing, incorrect movement.
Yeah, it's a sequence issue, not really so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much without exception, as long as you understand the way everything is supposed to move and the direction it's supposed to move, you really can't start your arms too early.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get more into it in future videos, but it's called the Broom Force. And the thing that I really like about the Broom Force that you're not seeing here, because there's so many good drills out there, and then there's good golf swings, but like the connection is tough. Like going from like, hey, I know my slow-mo broom swing that we filmed, I'm sure is going to look great, but then how do you get it like to do that when you're actually trying to trick yourself into hitting a golf ball good? That's
what it's about.
Yeah,
it's about transitioning those feels into actually hitting a ball.
So you guys can get over on Monte's website, which is in the link to this video. Be sure to also subscribe to him on YouTube and on Instagram as well, and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, we're going to go straight into the next one.